Former President Donald Trump has adopted as a centerpiece of his campaign a promise to help January 6 defendants involved in the Capitol riot. Trump has made a habit of expressing sympathy for defendants on the campaign trail, calling them hostages, denouncing how they have been treated by the justice system, and vowing to pardon them.
They ought to release the J6 hostages. They've suffered enough. They ought to release them. I call them hostages. Some people call them prisoners. I call them hostages. Release the J6 hostages, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
You see the spirit from the hostages, and that's what they are, as hostages. They've been treated terribly. Unbelievable patriots, and they were unbelievable patriots and are.
Looking at the most recent data from the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C., the Department of Justice has charged nearly 1,400 people in connection to January 6. Of those, 859 have received sentences, and about 520 of them have received jail time. Periods of incarceration have ranged from a few days to a few months to even several years, depending on the charge. The vast majority of these defendants have already received and completed their sentences, given the breach occurred more than 3 years ago now. So what would Trump actually be able to do if he wanted to help these defendants? Trump would be able to use his clemency authority to effectively wipe away their charges, according to legal experts. Clemency would involve fully pardoning individuals who were charged or commuting the sentences of those still in jail. One attorney who has represented dozens of defendants named Bill Shipley recommended that Trump set up a pardon office to review cases one by one to determine whether they received appropriate treatment. Brett Tolman, a former U.S. attorney who has also represented defendants who breached the Capitol, said that he believes all but 200 or 300 should receive pardons. Trump has not specified exactly who he would want to pardon in connection to the riot, but during a town hall last year, he said it would be, quote, a large portion of them.
I am inclined to pardon many of them. I can't say for every single one, because a couple of them probably they got out of control.
Some are defensive of Trump's comments. The term hostages is a fair analysis, the president of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton, said. He said these are folks who are the victim of government abuse and that they need to have their sentences commuted. Trump has, however, also taken criticism from some for his rhetoric, even in his own party, such as from Vice President Mike Pence, for using the term hostages. Pence has said it's not a technically accurate term, nor is it appropriate while hostages are being held in Israel by Hamas terrorists. After all, some were violent and destructive during the riot. Nearly 100 pleaded guilty to assaulting a police officer, and another several dozen were convicted by juries of similarly violent offenses. Ashley Oliver for the Washington Examiner.